Welcome to the 6th video in our series of high protein recipes. I am really excited to share these recipes with you today because they're a little bit different from the rest. We've kind of gone through some different recipes that include lunch ideas, dinner ideas, and even some high protein snack ideas. So I'll give you one guess what we're going to talk about today, and that is high protein breakfast ideas. So I have two really easy, simple recipes for you that are very cost effective and also delicious and high in protein to keep you full and satisfied. So the first one we're going to make today is a high protein egg muffin, and the second one are high protein oat waffles. So today we're going to start with our egg muffins, which are really simple. The recipe that I have for you highlights some different ingredients, but the great thing about it is you can cater to however you like. So in my recipe, I have a half a cup of green and red bell peppers. I have a half a cup of spinach, a half a cup of Canadian bacon, and a half a cup of cheese. And then of course your 6 eggs. And so something you could do if you wanted to cater it to what you prefer is just change out the vegetables, change out the protein source, or change out the spinach, or even eliminate it if you're not a fan of spinach. Broccoli, green onions, all of those delicious regular onions would be good in the recipe as well. So we're gonna start with what we have today, and it's really, really simple. Right here I have a muffin tin that holds 12 muffins, and I have 6 silicone molds. So you have some different options. You can use silicone molds, you can use regular paper liners, or you can just spray your pan really well with Pam spray and then add a little bit of flour so that your egg muffins don't stick. So I'm going to just spray my silicone molds with a little bit of my Pam spray. And then I'm going to divide out my ingredients into each muffin tin. So I'm going to start with my Canadian bacon. What I really like about Canadian bacon is it's really, really lean and really high in protein. So unlike regular bacon, which has a lot of fat, this has a lot of really good flavor, but it completely eliminates that fat source. So all you're getting is the good protein, which is what you want. So you'll just divide that evenly between your molds. And then the same thing with whatever vegetables you choose. So like I said, I have red and green onions. I like to use red and green because it makes it really pretty and colorful. You just make sure that's all even. And then I just have a little bit of spinach. My spinach, you can use fresh spinach or frozen. And just kind of layer that on top. So not only are you getting some really good protein, you're also getting some really good vitamins and minerals from the veggies that you're putting in here. All right, and then all you gotta do is crack all your eggs, mix them up, and you'll just pour it over the top. So I'm using 6 eggs, which will make 6 muffins. The recipe that I will post below for you actually has 12 eggs, so that'll make 12 muffins. So if you want more muffins to be able to store, then go ahead and just double the recipe. All right, got my 6 eggs here, and I'll just whisk it up. If you want to, at this point, you can add a little bit of cottage cheese if you really want to boost the protein content. I'm just going to use regular old eggs. You want it pretty well mixed so that you don't have the egg yolk and white separating. All right. So you'll want to mix your eggs in a bowl that has an easy pour spout so that you can pour it easily into your molds. And we'll just even them all out here. And you can fill them right up to the top because they really won't raise all that much. The last thing you want to do is just sprinkle your cheese. All I have here is shredded cheddar jack. You can use your favorite kind of cheese. I've even done Parmesan cheese, and that gives it a really good flavor. And you'll just sprinkle that on the top of your egg mold. Perfect amount. All right. So my oven is preheating at 350, and you want to throw these into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to do that, and then we will head over and start working on our oat waffles. Okay, so we're going to start on our high protein oat waffles recipe. So the first thing you'll want to start with is your oats. I have a cup of oats here. You can also buy oat flour, but if you just use your rolled oats at home and put it in a food processor, you can make your own oat flour for a lot cheaper. So I have a cup of oats. I'll just dump it into my food processor and pulse that a few times until we have our oat flour. Take a look at that. You want it pretty finely well ground, so I'm just going to pulse it a few more times. Alright, that's looking really good. Okay, so we'll put that aside for a minute, and we'll pull our blender out. So in our blender, we are going to put 2/3 of a cup of cottage cheese. And I've separated 2 eggs into the yolks and into the whites. So I'm going to put 2 egg yolks in with our cottage cheese. A teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to blend that first. Just a quick pulse there. Okay, and then I'm going to put in 6 tablespoons of water, which is about 1/2 cup. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you really want to boost the protein in your waffles, you can also put in some unflavored protein powder if you have it. You don't have to. The waffles themselves are already pretty high in protein, but I'm going to just boost it a little bit more with some protein powder. So I'm going to dump that in there too. And we'll just blend that up a few more times. And you'll want to get a spoon to kind of mix it up. Okay, that's looking really good and blended. Now, in another bowl, you'll have your 2 egg whites, which you are going to beat until they are soft peaks. So essentially you'll just beat them and beat them and beat them until you see that they're kind of foamy. So I have my hand mixer to do that. Okay, so we have our egg whites beat up. You'll know they're ready if you can pull the eggs out and kind of plop them down, and they peek up a little bit. So they're nice and frothy and ready to go. So then all we're going to do is take our batter that we made, dump that in, and then dump our flour that we made right in there. And then you'll just fold it all together. And if you're wondering, no, you don't taste the cottage cheese in the recipe. No, a lot of people don't like cottage cheese, but once you eat the waffles, you won't even taste it. They're there. It just gives it a really good boost of protein. All right. So our batter is ready to go. So we're gonna go and heat up our waffle iron and make our waffles. So we have heated up our waffle iron. So I'm going to just spray it with a little bit of spray so our waffles don't stick. And then go ahead and just pour our batter in. Now, you can also use these to make pancakes too if you don't have a waffle iron. So that is totally an option. Okay, and we'll let those cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so our waffles are done. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull them out and throw them onto our plate. And they smell delicious like vanilla and are golden brown and ready to go. So when you're eating your waffles here, about 2 of these waffles are going to give you, with the recipe, about 8 grams of protein. Now we added a packet of protein powder, which gave it about 20 grams of protein in addition to the whole thing, so it probably will give you 10 to 15 grams of protein per 2 waffles. So we'll throw 2 waffles here to save for later. Now on my waffles, I'm going to pack the protein even more. So what I have is some almond butter. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of almond butter, which will add an extra 4 grams of protein, plus some really healthy fats to my waffles. You can top your waffles however you like. That is the glorious thing about waffles, is everyone can make it however they want to. I like almond butter, so I'll put almond butter on there. And then I just have a few chopped strawberries that I'll throw on top. Give them a little bit of fiber and extra nutrients. And just a little dollop of Greek yogurt. I like to use Greek yogurt kind of in replacement for like whipping cream to give it that little extra texture. Now the really great thing about these waffles is they freeze really well. So if you make a really big batch of these waffles, I know you kind of have to use a lot of kitchen equipment for it, but you make a really big batch, go ahead and throw them in the freezer, stick them in your toaster, warm them up, and you have a fresh waffle on a work day under 3 minutes. So make a big batch of waffles on the weekend and it'll get you all through the whole week. Now in that same vein, our egg muffins are done, so we're going to go ahead and bring our egg muffins over and talk about those. So our egg muffins look like this when they're finished. So I'll go ahead and just pull one out here. They slip just really easily right out of our silicone mold. Now each of these egg muffins, depending on what you choose to put in it, with my Canadian bacon and cheese, will probably get you anywhere from 7 to 10 grams of protein each. So if your waffle's getting you 10 to 15 plus 7 to 10 from your egg muffin, you're easily at 20 to 30 grams of protein just for this breakfast. So you will stay full, you will stay satisfied, and you'll have fruits and vegetables and all of the nutrients that you could want to actually enjoy your meal, and it tastes good. Now with the egg muffins, you can do the same thing as the waffles. You can go ahead and leave them in the fridge in a Ziploc bag that's pretty airtight for up to a week. You can pull them out, stick them in the microwave, and heat them up. If you're not going to eat them in a week, go ahead and put them in the freezer in an airtight container. If you wrap each one individually in saran wrap, they'll keep a lot better. Throw them in the freezer. When you're ready to eat them, go ahead and pull them out, put them in the fridge for a little while so they can thaw. and then you can heat them up again in the microwave, and it really won't compromise the texture or the flavor. If you want to add a little bit of pizzazz to your egg muffins, you can add salt and pepper, of course. You can add whatever kinds of seasonings you like. I really like to add hot sauce, so that gives it a little extra flavor too if you like hot and spicy. So this is our delicious high protein breakfast full of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and everything you could possibly want in a breakfast. If you have any questions about the recipes, go ahead and look at the link below. And if you try the recipes, let me know how they go. I'd love to hear about it. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Whole Simple Protein. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you tried the recipes, please go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about them. And we'll see you on the next one.